Hello again, day 3 of the mini training on somatics to help entrepreneurs to regulate their nervous system and be more fulfilled in their progress as an entrepreneur. So how to reprogram the nervous system to expand the comfort zone. This is what we're doing today. So day 3. Today we're talking about a slightly different situation from yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about when we're feeling a bit scattered, a bit too much in the head, and we needed to ground ourselves and came back into the body. Today we're looking at when we stuck and really stuck, we need to move. So I'm sure you've all come across this, both personally and professionally, when we stuck in our fears or anxiety. And the answer we'll say when we're confiding it to someone, oh yeah, I feel stuck. And actually it's a response from the nervous system, and it's called freeze. And freeze is when you've got plenty of energy inside, but somehow you feel like you can't make a move. It's a little bit like the image of being stuck in an ice cube, inside an ice cube, yeah? So you're feeling stuck, you no longer take action, you no longer make decisions, and you no longer move forward. So it's more drastic than what we saw yesterday. So when we're looking at that, when we're stuck like that, we need to move our body. Because when we are afraid, when we're anxious, we're going to need to move to express the energy. So we're going to use movement, because it's mainly through movement that we'll be able to come out of the fear and anxiety and all the stories that can arise from this internal state of being stuck. So you see the first technique, at least I'm pretty sure you know it already. However, I'm not sure yet again that you allow yourself to use it. It's very simple again, but it's making sure that you incorporate that in your everyday life when it's needed. We know that the nervous system is all throughout the body. So if we want to act on our nervous system, we'll need to move the entire body. So when we find ourselves in a situation when you're afraid, anxious, and you feel blocked, it's been weeks that you've been trying to take action to do something in your business, and then you find yourself stuck, you can't shift into second gear, you haven't done what you needed to do, you haven't made the decision you were supposed to make, there's some sort of blockage stage, and you can't move forward naturally. In this state of block, the mind goes into overdrive, yeah? So what we did yesterday can also help. It's a first step. We can combine practices. Just to recap, the mind wants to get involved because we ask ourselves lots of questions. We've got self-doubt, and it's super important that we don't let the mind get too much involved, yeah? Because when we're stuck and we feel frozen, when our nervous system is on high alert, by the way, this is a defense mechanism, yeah? But it's stopping us in our tracks. So what's happening inside our nervous system? We've got our pressure center in the head, that's very active, and our root center around the hips, that very active, like the emotional thing. And really, between these two centers, it feels like the body's compressed. So around the shoulders, the neck, the torso, everything is going to be like contracted. So we begin to feel physical tension and feel like we can't move. And we feel mental tension, mental pressure. We try to find a way, try to find an answer. And so our nervous system is on high alert because it feels intense pressure throughout the body. So first practice is simple. When you realize you're stuck, move. You can ask yourself, what music do I feel like moving to right now? But just don't hang into the question too long. If you're not sure, just pick something and just commit to actually moving your body on it. First movement for a nervous system that's overactive is also shaking the body. I'm sure you know this practice. It tends to be well known now in the somatic world and elsewhere. So we're going to shake the body. So to do that, and I'm going to do it same time as you, I'm going to stand up, because often when we're overactive and we're stuck into freeze, we've got energy inside, so standing up is better. And when I say shake, I mean really shake. So you're going to start with your hands, just your hand, your right hand. And then you're going to go with your right wrist. So I'm shaking my wrist, and then my arm. So your elbows move up and down, sideways. There's no rule about the direction. And then your shoulders. So you want to shake your right shoulder. Yeah. And then you're going to do the same on the left hand side. We're going to do maybe the fingers first. And then the hand. Shake, shake, shake. The wrist. We're going to shake the elbow and over the arm. And then shake the shoulders and do the other one as well. And then you're going to move your leg one by one. Shake the right leg, shake the left leg, shake, shake, shake. And then make circles with your hips. Put everything in motion, literally. If energy is stuck, we move it. Sounds logical, but when you say it like that. But we often don't do it, and we just like, because there's so much pressure and contraction in our body, we tend to lie down on the sofa when our body needs to actually move. So shake your body, shake, shake, shake your head as well. No, yes. Shake your neck. And you can even use your vocal cords and have fun with sounds as you're shaking. So, and don't worry about what it sounds like. So shake your vocal cords. And experiment with different tones as you're shaking. So you're shaking your body and you're letting some sound out. See if your hips need to shake again. And that's how we bring elasticity and flexibility back into your nervous system. So that's the first practice. And this practice can be complemented with intuitive dance or intuitive movement. So in this case, with eyes closed and music, what we do is we explore the body a little bit like a beginning of ecstatic dance, if you know it. It's a form of free movement meditation, so there's no rules about how you're going to say or how you're going to dance, and you move freely to music following specific impulses that you have that will be very unique. So what you will do is and that's you sort of life work in a way, because I don't like to say homework, is to pick a song, preferably without lyric, and just move each part of your body, one after the other. I think I'll do a separate audio for that. Obviously, you start by being still, breathe, and then just move your hands, your forearms, your whole arm. Same process, but with music. But this one is meant to gently bringing you everything back into motion. It's a lot of a softer approach compared to shaking, which is more sudden and designed to really jolt the nervous system and release things. This is more like when you need a lot more softness, you can do both, one after the other, but it tends to be more fluid and natural than shaking. So this will help you come back into the body, and actually I'll make a separate recording for this. And it allows you to start moving again and release the fears and anxiety present in the moment. Again, it brings you back in the body. There are some times of anxiety where movement isn't the right choice. We're not going to go into that here. But I'm talking, for example, about panic attack. We don't want to move necessarily there. So here we're not talking about something dramatic, just something we experience daily that requires us to move our body. And for panic attack, we'll do something different. I can mention, I can do an audio of that, and I think I will actually do an audio of that in the Calm in the Storm, just in case some of you might have panic attack. So that's the first practices, shaking and intuitive dancing. And now the third bit of this audio is about continuing to reprogram the nervous system, still using the body as an ally. And I'm going to give an example of a limiting, of a fear that one of my clients had in France. So she had a breakthrough in her business, and she made her first month at 10,000 euros a month. Previously, she was only making 1.5, or only is not the term, but 1.5 thousand euros a month. And then suddenly that month she made 10,000. And she was thrilled, except that at that point her fears came up and she felt stuck and frozen by fear. A flood of fears, like fear of lack, and it turned into fear of loss, like it's not gonna last, it's just a one-time thing. What if my business collapses, and so on and so forth. So her fears took over her thoughts and emotion, and she no longer felt at ease or confident. So what used to be okay before, which was like having 0 sales on some days, was no longer okay. She was stuck in fear of, I need to earn money. It was just a one-time thing. Because of all her fears had resurfaced, she had reached her ceiling, and her fears were coming back up, and guiding her thoughts and emotion. So there was emotion present, and her nervous system went into high alert and protection, and go into freeze then, although it's not protecting her, but you know what I mean. So now, when she had a day when she was not earning, although it wasn't bringing up any fear before, now it was. Strange. So it triggered some discomfort inside her and made her fear panic when she had a zero day without zero sales day. She didn't really understand it, obviously, because it was unconscious. It wasn't something rational that was happening to her. It was totally unconscious. And it hadn't been like that before. So it was very weird. But that's what was happening. It was simply that her nervous system has had a window of tolerance. Within a certain range, it felt safe for her. So we could say it's a green zone. But but yet there's also orange zones, then red zones. And theoretically, everything in life should all fall into the green zone, and the orange and red should only be reserved for actual life-threatening danger. But in the modern world, that's not how it works, for many reasons. Because one reason is that we're overstimulated in daily life. We just experience too much noise, light, too many images, too much information. So the nervous system gets overwhelmed and doesn't know what to manage anymore. And the second reason is what's stored inside us. Our personal history, our ancestral trauma, if we have any, and so on and so forth, whether you believe in that or not. If it's just personal history for you, that's fine. So I told her, okay, we're going to just need to teach your nervous system to expand its window of tolerance. It's just not feeling safe at the moment. So to do that, we need to introduce it to new environments gradually, so it's learning, it's not dangerous. So it's a form of reprogramming, sorry. And it's simple. It's just a practice to repeat, but it needs to be very regular every day. And you might need to do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, I don't know. So I give this practice I'm going to talk to you about to her to do every day. And again, your body has its own pace. Let it take the time it needs. The goal isn't a miracle, it's results that last. Yeah, so we did something very simple. We connected to her nervous system by tapping the chest area. So she went on to tap on her chest, everywhere on her chest, little taps. I'm not going to do too much here because of the mic, but with your right hand, your right fingers, you tap on your chest. And you're going to experiment with saying different things. So we went on with her saying things like, I feel safe and comfortable when I make sales. And I invited her to tap her body and to check her sensations in the chest as she was saying that. And she felt quite spacious, no knots. She felt relaxed. So that's fine. Her nervous system's okay with that. Then we went on to another sentence, which was, I feel safe and comfortable when I make fewer sales. And there her throat started to be tense. She said, I can feel tension in my body and even in the tummy. So that one, starting with some tension. And we moved on to another one, which was, I feel safe and comfortable when I make 0 sales. And there she was really, really stuck. She felt the tension in her body. Her nervous system went on alert. The story started to kick in. If I don't sell, my business is ending, blah, blah, blah. So we removed the last sentence at first because it was too stressful. And we stuck with, I feel safe and comfortable when I make fewer sales. And her life work was to repeat this every day, every morning while tapping on her chest, a few minutes, that's all. And over time, her nervous system and coded it as truth. Because the little tapping made it safer. It made it like she was connected to her body and not only in her head, wanting to believe the sentence. So after, I think for her it was 2.5 weeks of doing it regularly, she felt calm. So then we went on to the next sentence that was quite triggering. And after a while, that sentence no longer triggered anything. So 0 cells day no longer triggered anything in her body. So what had happened, her window of tolerance had expanded. Now, whether it was 0, 100, or 10,000 in a day, she felt safe and well. And it helped her to refocus her attention, her energy on her goals, and no longer get trapped in patterns that didn't serve her, of worry, anxiety, and all of that. So there you go. You've got 3 practices here to manage fear, anxiety, and regulate the nervous system, to make it more flexible and reprogram it so that the window of tolerance expands and you feel more and more comfortable. You can use it for public speaking. I've had some clients use it before they were giving a big talk, TEDx talk, and we did it with the money, but it could also work with someone who's struggling to make a living, and who's stuck in freeze. I've also used it in that way. Obviously, it's not the only tool, but it helps to just anchor that in the body. In the same way, you can use it with relationships. Some people might be comfortable being singles, but not in a couple. Others will be comfortable being in a couple, but will struggle when they're single. So really, you need to work and titrate. Titrate is when you do it really slowly, in terms of you need to find the right sentence that's starting to bring some tension in the body, and you need and not go with the one that's super triggering when you start. But you can do this with everything, and it's about reprogramming your body to feel more at ease, giving your nervous system the right signals so it no longer sounds the alarm. So it's really, really helpful. Obviously, so you still have a bit of fear, because fear is a human emotion. I'm not saying that it will disappear totally, but you will be able to move into action, and that's the main thing. Sometimes there's something deeper that's causing the issue, and then when there's something deeper that needs to be released, obviously that means there's a strong emotional charge, which could be a core wound or a trauma, and they're not exactly the same, but either way, this is something that will need another, just not a one-off tool. And that's it for today. So don't forget that there's a special offer to join Calm in the Storm in the coming days, and you will be able to have support and get 15 audio clips for a month to make sure you enlarge and expand your knowledge of the nervous system. There will be practices you can include in your everyday life. So hopefully that will be useful to you, and hopefully this is really useful as well, and I wish you well and hope this has been helping.